Hello and all, welcome to the Galaxy Man Show. I am here with this incredible artist known by the name of Tiffany Grace. So I'm proud to announce Tiffany Grace to join the show for tonight's guest. So please welcome Tiffany Grace on the Galaxy Man Show. And yeah, here's Tiffany Grace for the Galaxy Man Show. Here we go. Hello, Tiffany. How's it going?
Good. How are you,
Yeah,
Jacob?
really good, thanks. I just want to say
Good.
first up, thank you so much, Tiffany, for making an appearance on my show. It is such an incredible pleasure having you on. To people that don't know who you are, Tiffany, if you can give like a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
All right. Sounds good. I'd like to say thank you for having me on your show. I'm just so keen to be here. So I'm 19 years old, grew up in Mackay, Queensland, still live here, and at the moment I just play music around Mackay. And yeah, I've released original music, which is getting known places all around the world. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Musician.
Awesome. So we'll dive right into the questions now, Tiffany. So for my very first question, so you've just released an incredible new song called Meant to Be Mine. Like, how does it make you feel now having Meant to Be Mine out as a release and on streaming on all platforms? And how does it make you feel as an artist now having it out?
I feel like relieved because, it's finally out there, all my effort and that. It's exciting, but also really nervous because I'm sharing my emotions, like my real emotions with everyone. And yeah, it's very nerve-wracking, not gonna lie.
So on
Yeah.
to my very next question. So you've also created an original song called Complete Imperfect, which is another incredible song of yours. Like all your songs are so beautiful and it's like so heartfelt. Like I really enjoy listening to your voice. It's like so amazing, by the way. I just wanted to say that. Uh like
Thank you.
like as an artist, like what is it like creating songs like perfectly imperfect like imperfect and just yeah, what was it like creating this one?
Um, well, I'm gonna say I felt like this was the perfect debut single for me because it's so vulnerable and it shares a powerful message. So that's the main reason I wanted to release it first. And what's it like creating the song? In this case, the song just came to me. You know how musicians say that? It just don't know where it comes from. It just on the paper now. Yeah, that's what happened with that one. So yeah, it was quite random, but turned out for the best.
Yes. So on to my very next question. So you've also created an original song called Needed Me, like creating You Needed Me. And yeah, what's the meaning behind this one?
The meaning behind this one is like coming out of a toxic relationship and realizing your self-worth and just growing stronger. There's lots of songs about heartbreak and relationships, and not gonna lie, I've written some, but this one in particular, I feel talks more about power and growing stronger afterwards because it's important to move on and realize what you're worthy of. Yeah. So that's what that song's about.
So on to my very next question. So what made you decide as a person and especially as an artist to get into the whole singing in the first place?
When I was younger, I just used to sing all the time anyway. So my mom got me into singing lessons just to because I loved it already. And then as I grew up, I started to perform live in like a Stedfords and that. I wanted to learn guitar to accompany my voice, and then I fell in love with that as well at 13. So I loved it just as much as singing. And then I kind of became a big part of the music scene in Mackay. And like when I met all the other musicians, the passion grew even bigger. And I'm like, this is what I want to do. This is where I belong. And then, yeah, I went on to songwriting as well.
So
Yes.
on to my very next question. So what does performing music like mean to you? Like especially as an artist when you're performing in front of crowds, like what does it mean to you?
Um, it I obviously it's something I just love doing, and nothing really beats playing live in front of people. It's just like you can connect with every person. It's just so real when you're there in the moment. That's definitely one of my favorite parts of it, along with the studio. So what it means to me is just sharing the joy of music or sharing emotions, whatever it may be, a sad song, you connect with other people, and it's really magic. I'm not gonna lie, it feels magic, yeah.
So on to my very next question. So what has been your like favorite all-time cover song to perform and why?
That's like really tricky because I sing so many cover songs. Um, Probably Castle on the Hill, Ed Sheeran. It's like so, I don't know, it's energetic song. Yeah. It's really energetic, and I feel like a lot of people know the song. People can dance to it. It suits my vocal range really well. And also, like, it talks about driving down country lanes and that, and it's relatable with my car being middle of nowhere. Yeah, so
I've actually seen you perform a lot of Lewis Capaldi songs, which is really amazing too, by the way.
thank you.
Like which favorite Lewis Capaldi song is your all-time favorite?
All time, they always change. Um, Probably Before You Go. That one's just hits so deep, such a good song.
I actually have a fact about Lewis Capaldi. Lewis Capaldi is actually related to, I'm a huge fan of a show called Doctor Who. And Lewis Capaldi is actually one of the cousins, well, one of the related cousins of actor called Peter Capaldi, which played one of the doctors in Doctor Who.
There you go.
Yeah,
Well, you know,
yeah. I found that really surprising. I was like, okay, that's actually really cool. So yeah, just thought I'd give you that
right?
fact.
Oh, wow,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So on to my very next question. So if you could work with any top three music artists in the music industry, like who would you want to work with and why?
Yeah, probably Taylor Swift, of course. Yeah, she's just, when I was little, I used to sing her songs, and she's really inspired my songwriting. My songs might have similarities to hers, you might notice, because she's just been a big inspiration. And Ed Sheeran, mainly because of his songwriting. It's just, he writes songs, his writing techniques are so unique. And the messages, he puts them across like you've never heard before. Like when you hear it, it's like, whoa, that's one mind, How does he come up with that? And Dean Lewis, probably. The Australian artist. He's just very, relatable, and he just puts himself out there. He's real and raw, and they would be amazing to work with, yeah.
So on to my very next question. So if you could go anywhere on tour, take your music to any place, any country in the world, like where would you want to take your music to and why?
Um, Probably England. So I'm actually English,
Okay.
and I heard a lot of Aussie artists travel there when they first start. So probably plan to go there first. I don't really know why, but yeah, probably England.
So on to my very next question. So like what advice would you give to upcoming artists that want to get into music and yeah, what advice would you give them?
Mainly be true to yourself and your music, because the industry will try and change you. A lot of people try and change you just to fit into the expectations, or the standards that people have for music and artists. But the most unique ones are really the ones who make something out of their music, that really do well. So in the end, that's the most important, really. Yeah.
So on to my very next question. So if you could like give younger Tiffany advice, like what would you give like what advice would you give to your younger self and why?
um Probably start playing in public earlier, because I was really nervous and I was putting it off because scary thing to do. But yeah, I'd probably start that, and probably not be so hard on myself. You can only do so much at a time, as one person. I felt like I had to do everything at once. But yeah, just not take your time, I guess, but just go easy on yourself. Yeah.
So on to my very next question. So what are like the positive and negatives into the music industry and how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
Mm. Um, well, there's lots of positives, that's for sure. Obviously, love of music, perform for people who love it just as much as you. I think learning from experienced artists is always great. thing with their passion, and it's really great. And I don't know, there's some beautiful moments really, but there's a lot of negative people and people who try to take advantage of you, and untrustworthy people trying to just make money out of your music. It can be very dangerous actually. So you got to be careful, read through all contracts, and then there's also, all the negative stuff online. There's people that say anything, say you can't sing, or you just gotta just keep going, believe in yourself, listen to the positive people, because there's always going to be negative people in the world. Yeah.
So on to my very last question. So, what's next for you for the rest of 2023? Like, any upcoming new projects or gigs that you have planned?
Yeah, so I just gig around mostly in the Whitsundays. I'll be in Early and Mackay. I'm planning to release another song before the end of the year, and this one's even more different to my last one, so I'm really excited. There'll be a video and all that. And looking at a tour next year, so probably mid next year, from Harvey Bay to Cairns. So yeah, that'll be my first regional tour, so that's exciting. Yeah.
Well, I just want to say thank you so much, Tiffany, again for appearing on my show. It has been such an incredible pleasure having you on. Everyone, definitely go support Tiffany. Definitely go support her new song out now called "Meant to Be Mine," which is an amazing song. I've heard it and it's definitely amazing. So definitely go check it out on all platforms. Do you have any last final thoughts that you'd like to share to people on the show?
Follow the Galaxy Man for sure. Thank you, Jacob, for having me. You're brilliant. And I don't know, I hope you like my music. There's more coming. Yeah.
Don't you look at me like that. I know you miss me and what we had. Say you don't want me back, but I see through your act. Why'd you leave me behind? We had something that can't be denied. Every time we collide, but you're still so blind. Never thought we'd lose what we found. So good together. Oh, don't you remember? I find myself in the places that I know you will be. I'm the one that you need, so why don't you want me? You're killing me slowly. Am I out of time? Oh baby, can't you see that you're meant to be mine? Only a fool for you. Broken smile and deep blue eyes. Since we said our goodbyes, I've been out of my mind. Never thought we'd lose what we found. We belong together.